The galaxy was silent. Not peaceful. Silent like a grave. A human colony was gone. No warning. No mercy. Men, women, children, erased in one single attack. The Alien Alliance called it necessary cleansing. To them, humans were weak. Too emotional. Too divided. They believed Earth would cry. They believed Earth would beg. They were wrong. Far away on the blue planet called Earth, alarms echoed across continents. Screens showed burning cities in space. Human leaders did not shout. They did not panic. They became quiet. And in that silence, something ancient woke up. The human colony of New Horizon floated in quiet space. It was not rich. It was not powerful. It was only a home. Families lived there. Children played inside glass halls. Engineers worked long hours to grow food and build shelters. The colony had no big weapons. It had no war fleet. New Horizon trusted the galactic laws. Those laws were supposed to protect weak worlds. They failed. The attack came without warning. One moment, the colony's stars were calm. The next moment, space tore open. Alien warships appeared from hyperspace. Huge, black, covered in sharp metal and glowing weapons. The colony defense system sent alerts. Red lights filled every hall. Unknown fleet detected. People looked up from their work. Some froze. Some ran. The alien ships did not send a message. They did not ask for surrender. They opened fire. Blue energy beams cut through the colony shields like paper. Glass halls exploded. Air rushed into space. Screams filled the comm channels. Human security ships launched. Small. Useless. They were destroyed in seconds. Inside the main control center, Governor Elena Wright watched the screens. Her hands were shaking, but her voice was steady. "Send a distress signal to Earth," she said. "Send everything." The signal went out. It would take time to reach Earth. Time they did not have. The alien fleet belonged to the Zorati Alliance. A powerful group of species. Cold, logical, merciless. Their commander, High Executor Varkel, watched the destruction from his flagship. "Human resistance is minimal," one officer reported. Varkel nodded. "Continue the cleansing." To the Zorati, humans were a problem. Too many colonies. Too emotional. Too unpredictable. The Alliance had voted. Human expansion would be stopped. New Horizon was the example. Energy weapons burned through living quarters. Power cores exploded. Fire spread inside sealed rooms. People tried to escape in small ships. The alien fleet destroyed them all. No one was spared. Not the old. Not the young. This was not war. This was genocide. Deep inside the colony, a small group of survivors hid in an emergency shelter. The walls shook with every explosion. A father held his daughter close. She was crying but made no sound. "Earth will come," he whispered. "They have to." Above them, the colony cracked apart. Minutes later, it was over. New Horizon was gone. Only broken metal and frozen bodies remained. The Zorati fleet stayed for a moment, scanning the ruins. "Colony destroyed," an officer said. "Human presence eliminated." Varkel allowed himself a thin smile. "Send the report to the council," he said. "Tell them the operation was successful." The report was clear. Human colony, erased. Casualties, total. Message to Earth, silence. Across the galaxy, other species heard the news. Some were afraid. Some were relieved. Many believed the same thing. Humans would not fight back. They were too divided. Too soft. Earth had always spoken about peace. About law. About cooperation. The galaxy believed Earth would accept the loss. They believed wrong. On Earth, the distress signal arrived. It played in a silent room. Images of fire. Screams. Final goodbyes. Human leaders watched without speaking. Military officers stood still. Scientists lowered their eyes. No one cried. Not yet. The room felt heavy. As if history itself was watching. One officer broke the silence. "Confirmation received," he said. "New Horizon is gone." The word echoed. Gone. Far below the surface of Earth, systems powered on. Systems that had been sleeping. Deep vaults unlocked. Ancient protocols activated. Names appeared on screens. Project Aegis. Project Black Dawn. Project Monster. They had never been used. Because Earth hoped they never would be. One of the leaders finally spoke. "They wanted to show us fear," he said quietly. "They wanted to teach us a lesson." He looked at the screen one last time. "They succeeded." He turned to the others. "Now," he continued, "we will answer." And far away in the dark ruins of New Horizon, the galaxy made its first mistake. The galaxy waited. After the destruction of New Horizon, many expected Earth to react fast. They expected anger, threats, maybe even war. But Earth said nothing. No message was sent to the Zorati Alliance. No protest reached the Galactic Council. No human ships moved. Days passed. The silence grew heavy. On the Zorati homeworld, the council chambers were calm. High Executor Varkel stood before the elders. The humans have not responded, he reported. Some elders clicked their mandibles in satisfaction. Others exchanged calm looks. As predicted, one elder said, "They are emotional but weak." Another elder added, "They talk about peace. They will not risk extinction for one colony." Varkel nodded. Earth knows its place now. The council agreed. Humanity had been warned. Across the galaxy, other species noticed the same thing. Earth was quiet. No fleets moving through space. No military buildup. No angry speeches. Some worlds relaxed their defenses. Some traders joked. "So much for humans," one alien merchant laughed. "All talk." The silence felt like surrender. But Earth was not silent because it was afraid. Earth was silent because it was thinking. Deep beneath Earth's surface, lights turned on in places that had not seen light for centuries. Massive doors opened slowly. Dust rose into the air. Human engineers walked through long metal halls. They did not speak much. They did not need to. They all knew why they were there. In a secure underground chamber, a group of leaders stood around a large table. A hologram of New Horizon floated above it. What was left of it? No one looked away. "The Zorati believe we will do nothing," one general said. A woman in a dark uniform replied, "Let them believe that." She tapped the table. "Status of the old programs?" A scientist took a breath. "Project Aegis is fully operational," he said. "Black Dawn fleet can be awakened within weeks. Project Monster is ready." The room became quiet at that last name. Project Monster was never meant to be used. It was not just weapons. It was doctrine. A plan for total war. A plan for survival when all laws failed. "We kept these projects hidden for a reason," another leader said. "If the galaxy sees them, they will fear us." The woman nodded slowly. "They already fear us," she said. "They just don't know it yet." While the galaxy slept, Earth moved. Factories that once built civilian ships began building something else. Something bigger. Something darker. Old shipyards in deep space came alive. Human AI systems woke from long sleep. They did not ask questions. They followed orders. Military fleets did not leave Earth. Not yet. Instead, small unmanned probes were launched. Silent. Invisible. They mapped Zorati space. Studied defenses. Tracked fleets. Every weakness was recorded. Every habit was learned. Back on the Zorati flagship, Varkel received updates. "No human activity detected," an officer said. "No military response." Varkel allowed himself a small smile. "They are afraid," he said. "They will learn to obey." He turned away from the screen. He did not notice the brief signal spike on his sensors. Too small. Too quiet. Human. On Earth, the public was not told everything. People knew about New Horizon. They mourned. Candles burned in cities. Names were read aloud. But there were no protests. No riots. Just a deep, shared anger. The kind that does not scream. The kind that waits. A young soldier stood alone in a hangar, looking at a massive ship hidden under shadow. It did not look human. Its shape was sharp. Its weapons silent but heavy. An older officer stood beside him. "Sir," the soldier asked, "why don't we tell them? Why don't we answer the Zorati now?" The officer looked at the ship. "Because," he said, "when we answer, we want the galaxy to listen." Weeks passed. Still no message from Earth. The Galactic Council relaxed even more. "The humans have accepted reality," one member declared. "They will not challenge the order of the galaxy." Votes were taken. Human space was labeled controlled. Future actions were planned. Far below Earth, a final system came online. A cold, calm voice filled the control room. All parameters met. Awaiting command. The leaders looked at one another. The woman in the dark uniform spoke softly. "Good," she said. "Let them enjoy the silence." She paused. "Because silence," she continued, "is the sound before the storm." And somewhere in the galaxy, the Zorati Alliance made their second mistake. For most of its history, humanity looked weak. That was not an accident. When humans first joined the galactic community, they learned a simple truth very fast. The galaxy respected power. But it feared unpredictability even more. So humans chose another path. They smiled. They talked about peace. They signed laws and treaties. And while the galaxy watched the surface, Earth prepared underneath. Long before New Horizon was destroyed, humans had already faced extinction. Asteroids, plagues, wars among themselves. They survived every time. Not because they were strong, but because they adapted. Deep under Earth's oceans, massive structures rested in darkness. Shipyards built into rock, hidden from every known sensor. Here the first of the Black Dawn fleet slept. Ships that did not shine. Ships that did not broadcast signals. They were built to disappear. In orbit around distant stars, silent platforms powered on. Their purpose was simple. If Earth ever fell, the galaxy would remember it. Inside a secure command facility, human leaders reviewed old recordings. Images from past wars played on the walls. We promised ourselves, one leader said, that we would never be the monsters again. Another replied, but we also promised we would never be victims. Project Aegis came first. A planetary defense system so advanced it could rewrite physics in small areas of space. Shields that could bend energy. Weapons that could stop fleets. It was never shown. Because Earth did not want an arms race. Then came Black Dawn. A fleet designed for one purpose only. End wars before they spread. Each ship carried weapons banned by galactic law. Weapons humans helped write those laws to hide. And finally, there was Project Monster. It was not a ship. Not a weapon. It was an idea. A war doctrine that removed mercy from the equation. If genocide was used against humanity, humanity would respond without limits. Very few people knew about it. Even fewer agreed with it. But it existed. Because hope alone does not stop extinction. As news of Earth's silence spread, the Zorati Alliance grew careless. Their fleets moved openly. Their defenses relaxed. Trade routes reopened. They believed the threat was gone. Human probes recorded everything. Fleet rotations. Command hierarchies. Civilian worlds. No targets were chosen yet. Only understanding. On Earth, engineers walked through hangars larger than cities. They stood beneath ships that blocked out the lights above them. These ships were not beautiful. They were honest. Every line, every weapon, every plate of armor had one purpose. Survive. Then win. A young scientist paused beside a massive weapon mount. Why hide all this? She asked an older engineer. The engineer did not look up. Because if the galaxy knew, he said, they would have attacked us long ago. In the Galactic Council, discussions turned casual. The humans are quiet, one delegate said. They have accepted their limits. Another added, we should monitor them, but they are no threat. The vote passed. Humanity was downgraded. At the same moment, far from the council halls, the first Black Dawn ship powered its engines. The sound did not travel far. It was absorbed, hidden, like everything else. High Executor Varkel stood on a balcony, watching his homeworld's twin suns. He felt satisfied. The galaxy was stable again. The lesson had been taught. Humans would remember their place. He did not see the shadow pass across the stars. On Earth, the leaders gathered one final time. All fleets report ready, a general said. Project Monster protocols are loaded. There was no cheering. No celebration. Only resolve. One leader looked at the image of New Horizon. History will judge us, he said. The woman in the dark uniform answered calmly. History is written by survivors. She gave the order. Prepare the response. Across hidden shipyards, lights turned green. Ancient fleets moved for the first time. And in the darkness between stars, humanity stopped hiding. The first sign came without warning. A Zorati listening station placed at the edge of their territory detected something impossible. No hyperspace ripple. No energy spike. No warning signal. Just a shadow. The station commander leaned closer to the screen. Confirm reading, he said. The operator swallowed. There is something there, sir. The sensors tried again. Nothing. Then everything. A human warship appeared. Not from hyperspace. Not from a gate. It was simply there. Silent. Dark. Close. Its shape was wrong. Sharp angles. Matte black armor that swallowed light. No markings. No signals. The station had 5 seconds to react. It never got the chance. A single beam of compressed energy fired from the human ship. The station vanished. No explosion. No debris. Just empty space. The human ship did not slow down. It moved deeper into Zorati space. On the Zorati homeworld, alarms sounded for the first time in years. Unknown vessel detected, an officer shouted. It destroyed listening post 7. High Executor Varkel stepped forward. One ship, he asked. Yes, Executor. Varkel's mandibles clicked in irritation. Then destroy it. Zorati warships launched. Fast. Powerful. They surrounded the intruder near an outer defense world. This is Zorati space, a commander transmitted. You will surrender or be destroyed. There was no reply. The human ship turned. Not away. Toward them. Zorati weapons fired. Plasma bolts lit up space. They hit nothing. The human ship moved between the shots, calm and precise. Then it fired. Zorati shields collapsed in seconds. One ship lost power. Another broke apart. The rest tried to retreat. They could not. Human weapons disabled engines without destroying hulls. Crew lived. Ships died. The battle lasted less than 2 minutes. The human ship remained untouched. It did not chase survivors. It turned toward the nearby planet. The planet was not a core world. But it was important. A military hub. A symbol of Zorati control. Defenses powered up. Ground cannons aimed at the sky. They fired together. The human ship did not dodge. A shimmering field appeared around it. Every shot vanished. Then the ship fired again. Not at cities. Not at civilians. At infrastructure. Power grids shut down. Shipyards went dark. Defense systems died. The planet was blind. Helpless. A message finally appeared on all channels. Simple. Clear. Human. This is Earth. This is your warning. No threats. No anger. Just fact. Across the galaxy the signal was intercepted. Councils froze. Commanders stared. Traders stopped talking. The silence returned. But this time it was fear. On Earth, leaders watched the live feed. The woman in the dark uniform nodded. Good, she said. They are listening. High Executor Varkel felt something unfamiliar. Uncertainty. One ship does not mean war, he told the council. It is a display. Nothing more. But his voice lacked confidence. As if answering him, space began to change. Behind the human ship, shadows appeared. Then more. Then dozens. The Black Dawn fleet arrived. Silent. Endless. Ships of every size. All dark. All waiting. Zorati sensors screamed. This is impossible, an officer whispered. They were hiding this the entire time? Varkel said nothing. The human fleet did not attack. They held position. Waiting. A second message appeared. You destroyed one of our homes. We will not destroy yours. Unless you force us. The meaning was clear. Earth was not asking for permission. Earth was setting terms. Across the galaxy, smaller species watched in terror and awe. Humans were not weak. They had never been. They had simply been patient. The first human ship powered down its weapons. But it did not leave. None of them did. On Earth, a young soldier watched the fleet on a screen. Is this the war? He asked. The officer beside him shook his head. No, he said. This is the answer. And in Zorati space, under the shadow of human warships, the galaxy finally understood. The monsters had arrived. Fear did not come from explosions. Fear came from control. The Black Dawn fleet did not move. Thousands of human warships stayed perfectly still in Zorati space. No weapons fired. No engines burned bright. They simply existed. And that was worse. On the Zorati homeworld, cities continued their daily life. Shops stayed open. Transports moved. But everyone looked at the sky. They could not see the human fleet. They could feel it. Zorati commanders worked without rest. All human ships are holding position, an officer reported. They are not attacking supply lines. Not targeting civilians. Not advancing. High Executor Varkel clenched his claws. Why? He demanded. Why wait? No one answered. The answer arrived quietly. Across Zorati military networks, files unlocked themselves. Human files. Detailed. Accurate. Private. Fleet positions. Command codes. Emergency plans. Every secret the Zorati believed was safe. Exposed. One message followed the data. We know where you are. We know what you can do. We know what you fear. No signature. No threat. Just truth. Panic spread through the Zorati command. Shut down all networks, one officer shouted. Too late. Human systems were already inside. Not attacking. Watching. On Earth, analysts monitored everything. They're breaking, one said calmly. The woman in the dark uniform nodded. Fear makes mistakes, she replied. The human fleet finally moved. Not toward cities. Not toward population centers. Toward Zorati military worlds. Bases. Shipyards. Weapon factories. On the first world, Zorati commanders ordered full defense. All batteries fire. They did. Nothing hit. Human ships bent space around themselves. Shots curved away. Energy faded. Human return fire was precise. One shipyard lost power. Another lost gravity. A third simply shut down. No explosions. No flames. Just silence. Zorati soldiers watched their weapons die in their hands. They were alive. But helpless. A Zorati officer fell to the floor. They're not fighting us, he whispered. They're controlling us. That was when the galaxy understood. Humans were not angry. They were disciplined. Cold. Focused. Across neutral space, other species watched in horror. They could destroy entire worlds, one delegate said. But they don't. Another replied softly. That's worse. On a captured Zorati base, human drones landed. They did not shoot. They scanned. Marked targets. Then left. Varkel watched reports stack up. Military systems offline. Fleet movement restricted. Command chains broken. No civilian casualties. No random destruction. They're making an example of us, Varkel said slowly. They want the galaxy to see. A new message broadcast across all known space. Human. Clear. Unavoidable. We do not seek your extinction. We seek balance. You chose genocide. We chose response. On Earth, citizens watched the same message. Some felt pride. Some felt fear. Many felt both. A young woman stood before a memorial for New Horizon. She listened to the message in silence. They didn't scream, she whispered. They didn't rush. She looked at the sky. They waited. The Galactic Council emergency session began. Panic filled the chamber. We must stop this, one delegate cried. They are too powerful. Another shouted back. You voted to allow genocide. Silence followed. Human ambassadors did not attend. They did not need to. The fleet spoke for them. In Zorati space, Varkel finally understood. This was not revenge. This was correction. The Zorati sent a message to Earth. For the first time. Cease your actions. We will negotiate. The reply came instantly. Negotiation was an option. You chose not to use it. Varkel lowered his head. What are they? One officer asked quietly. Varkel answered with honesty. They are monsters, he said. But not the kind that destroy everything. He looked at the data again. They are the kind that survive. As the Black Dawn fleet continued its slow, controlled advance, the galaxy learned a final truth. Humanity did not rule through fear. They ruled through restraint. And that restraint could be removed. Somewhere deep in human command space, a new protocol waited. Unactivated. For now. The galaxy could no longer pretend. Human warships sat inside Zorati space, silent and unstoppable. Zorati military power was broken, but their world still lived. Every species was watching. And every species knew one thing. This choice would decide the future. The Galactic Council chamber was full. For the first time in history, fear united them. They have already won, one delegate said. The Zorati cannot fight back. Another replied. If humans wanted genocide, we would already be dead. That thought settled deep. A smaller species delegate stood up. We allowed the destruction of New Horizon, she said. We said nothing. Her voice shook. If we stay silent again, we are no better. Arguments exploded. Some wanted to support Earth. Others feared angering them. A few still defended the Zorati. They acted for stability, one shouted. Humans expand too fast. The room went quiet. A single question remained unspoken. Who decides who deserves to live? Outside the council, fleets moved. Some worlds pulled their ships back to defend home space. Others sent small forces toward Earth. Not to fight. To stand beside. On Earth, human leaders watched the map change. Neutral fleets forming, an analyst said. Some approaching Zorati space. The woman in the dark uniform nodded. They're choosing. The Zorati homeworld was in crisis. Food supply chains failed. Military command was fractured. Public fear spread. Still, the humans did not strike cities. They waited. High Executive Varkel addressed his people. We underestimated humanity, he said. They are not animals. They are not weak. He paused. They are disciplined. A Zorati citizen asked a question broadcast across networks. Why are we still alive? Varkel had no answer. Then Earth spoke again. The message reached every council hall, every ship, every world. This conflict is not about territory. It is about survival. Genocide will not be tolerated. No threats. Just law. The galaxy split. Some worlds signed protection treaties with Earth within hours. Others declared strict neutrality. A few closed borders completely. No one supported the Zorati openly. In a distant system, a neutral fleet commander watched the human ships. They could wipe out the Zorati leadership in minutes, his officer said. The commander nodded. Yes, he replied. And the fact that they don't scares me. On Earth, memorials for New Horizon grew larger. Names were still being read. The silence remained. Human leaders gathered one final time. The galaxy is aligning, a general reported. Zorati allies are abandoning them. The woman in the dark uniform folded her hands. Good, she said. That means the lesson is working. One leader hesitated. What if they surrender fully? He asked. What if they beg? The woman answered calmly. Then we decide, she said. Not out of anger. Out of memory. In Zorati space, Varkel watched as former allies withdrew fleets. He felt the weight of history press down on him. They had started this. And now they would pay for it. A final emergency vote was held on the Zorati homeworld. The result was clear. They would submit. A message was prepared. It took hours to write. Every word mattered. Finally it was sent. We acknowledge our crime. We accept responsibility. We ask for judgment. The galaxy waited. For the first time humanity held absolute power. They could destroy an empire. Or reshape the rules of existence. On Earth, the woman in the dark uniform stood alone. She looked at the stars. They forced us to become this, she said softly. But what we choose next, that's on us. Far from Earth, in the dark between stars, human fleets held position. Weapons ready. Waiting. The galaxy had made its choice. Now Earth would make theirs. The galaxy waited. All eyes turned to Earth. All questions led to one place. Would humanity strike? Would they punish? Would they destroy? The answer was coming. Not in anger. Not in fire. But in resolve. In the silent halls of Earth's command center, leaders gathered. The woman in the dark uniform spoke first. Her voice calm, steady. Justice is not vengeance, she said. It is balance. It is memory. It is law. A hologram of New Horizon floated above the table. The colony's destruction burned in everyone's mind. But the humans did not scream. They did not cry. They waited. Every system, every fleet, every weapon was ready. Every move had been calculated. Black Dawn ships hovered in Zorati space. Not attacking. Waiting. They were the monsters the galaxy feared. But they were monsters with discipline. High Executor Varkel watched the human fleets. He knew the truth now. Earth had the power to erase his empire. But they had chosen patience. A transmission reached the Zorati homeworld. Your empire survives because we choose it. Your lives are yours to keep, for now. Genocide will not go unchallenged. No threats. No hate. Just truth. Across the galaxy, species whispered in fear and awe. They could have destroyed everything, one officer said. They did not. They did not, another asked. They are the true monsters, the first replied. But they fight only to protect their own. On Earth, memorials for New Horizon burned bright. The names of the lost were read aloud. Candles glowed in silence. No celebration. No victory cries. Only remembrance. The woman in the dark uniform looked at her people. They saw our patience, she said. They tested us. Now the galaxy knows who we are. The Black Dawn fleet withdrew slowly. Not in retreat. Not in surrender. In control. Come. Unshakable. The Zorati alliance had been broken. Allies abandoned. Command shattered. The galaxy had made its choice. And Earth had made its. A young soldier on Earth watched the fleet disappear into the distance. He asked his officer, will they come back? The officer shook his head. They may. But they will never forget. The galaxy had seen humanity's answer. Not mercy. Not anger. But justice. Deep in space, the remnants of the Zorati fleet regrouped. Their leaders debated. They are monsters, Varkel said. But not cruel. Not senseless. They are human. And with that, the Empire understood something terrifying. Across all human space, nothing changed on the surface. Cities thrived. Trade continued. People lived their lives. But beneath the surface, the fleet slept. Weapons remained loaded. Protocols waited. Earth had answered once. It had shown restraint. But the galaxy now knew the truth. If humans chose, there would be no mercy. And somewhere, far away, an alien child asked her teacher, "Are humans monsters?" The teacher thought carefully. "They are," she said softly. "But they are monsters who protect life. And when they rise, even the stars tremble." Earth did not celebrate. The galaxy did not cheer. But the story was written. Humanity had survived genocide. Humanity had revealed its true power. Humanity had become the monsters the universe would never forget. And in that calm silence between stars, the real lesson settled into every mind. Do not underestimate humanity. Not ever.